Ever dodged a cat on a stroll, only to end up starring in a courtroom true crime headline? That happened. Minus the Netflix budget, this is real. March 2025. Welcome to a world where a Cane Corso, an intruding toddler, and your favorite storytelling tool collide with a bite. You'll walk away with the power to turn jaw-dropping facts into unforgettable stories. Let's start the video. The rise of the new status dog. By 2025, Cane Corsos had flexed their way into Britain's headlines as the new status symbol, pushing out the banned XL bullies. The Guardian dubbed them the XL bullies replacement, while the Times snarked they were XL bullies on steroids. It reads like a misguided gym ad. Suddenly, these massive Italian Mastiffs were celebrities. Even influencers like Marcus Rashford and Jack Fincham showed them off. Fincham's dog Elvis doubled as a legal headline star, making more court runs than burglars. When fame meets fur, it doesn't just fetch attention, it fetches consequences. These dogs were appearing in photo shoots, TikTok clips, and even brand campaigns, turning dangerous pets into clout currency. But as the spotlight grew, so did the backlash, with critics asking whether social media fame was fueling irresponsibility more than admiration. For every glossy Instagram post, there was a headline warning of danger. And soon the question wasn't just who owned the Cane Corso, it was whether the Cane Corso now owned the spotlight. Real incidents. First, Staffordshire, March 2025. A teacher, Hugo the Cane Corso on one side, a curious cat on the other. A casual road crossing, and in a horror speed moment, Hugo lunges at a baby in a driveway. The child was left permanently scarred, guilt rippling through the community. The courtroom sentenced the owner to fines, compensation, and a forever muzzle and fixed lead rule for Hugo. Even the judge looked like they just swallowed a lemon. The story spread nationally, stirring outrage and sympathy in equal measure. Local parents demanded stricter leash laws, while dog owners argued Hugo was more a victim of poor handling than natural aggression. The baby's family, however, didn't care for policy debates. Their child's future was permanently altered. Then Ohio, 9-year-old Kaya Matusak and her friends under the sun. In a flash, a 100-pound Cane Corso lunges from a car, dragging her screaming through the street. Kaya survived, but the aftershocks were emotional. Her story flooded TikTok. Within hours, heartbreak and outrage packed an emotional punch across platforms. The clip gained millions of views, turning Kaya into an unwilling symbol of the Cane Corso debate. Comment sections became battlegrounds. Some demanded bans, others insisted no child should suffer for an owner's mistakes. In the digital age, one story wasn't just local, it was global, rewriting reputations in real time. And remember Jack Fincham? Celeb, reality star, and dog owner extraordinaire. Elvis, his Cane Corso, attacked a runner and later a woman. Jail time followed, but in 2025, Fincham appealed and Elvis came home. He didn't just win custody, he wowed tabloids. Some fans praised his loyalty to his dog, others accused him of putting fame before safety. Elvis wasn't just a pet anymore. He was a tabloid character, complete with a redemption arc. If dogs could write memoirs, Elvis would have had a bestseller by summer. These aren't just dog bites, they're the opening scenes of real-life thrillers, ready to turn them into stories people can't scroll past. And here's the kicker. Every headline is a hook waiting for the right storyteller. Breed wars and legal loopholes. Here's where the plot thickens. Britain allowed imports of ear-cropped, tail-docked Cane Corsos, illegal modifications at home. Suddenly, neighborhoods were seeing bulky dogs with scarred appearances, legally imported to look tough. It's like ordering trouble, next-day delivery. Animal welfare groups, including RSPCA and Scottish SPCA, warn that blame misplaced can breed bans. The real problem: bad breeding, bad training, worse owners. Dog control became a national heist, but nobody had a guard dog, just bad policy. These loopholes turned Cane Corsos into status props more than pets, with some owners caring more about intimidation than companionship. Critics called it a disaster waiting to happen, while breeders insisted they were meeting a demand. The truth, as always, was messier. Some Corsos were loving family dogs. Others were ticking time bombs in the wrong hands. Lawmakers debated, charities protested, and meanwhile, the dogs themselves became pawns in a much bigger game. It wasn't just about pets anymore. It was about power, image, and control. If government policy were a dog breed, it'd be a Chihuahua small, yappy, and always squeaking louder than its bite. And let's be honest, sometimes with just as much bite follow-through. Storytelling lessons from the chaos. Want to nail storytelling? Begin with the hook. A quiet night. A burglar creeps in. A Cane Corso flips the script. Then the heart. A child screams. A life changes. Despair echoes in courtrooms. End with the call to action. We must tell these stories responsibly or risk repeating them. The formula works like storytelling steroids without the side effects. This structure works because it mirrors how humans process emotion. Attention, empathy, action. Miss one, and the story falls flat. Nail all three and your audience won't just listen, they'll remember. Think of it like a recipe. Skip the seasoning, and no one comes back for seconds. Round your mind around it. Hooks don't just tell, they embed. And when a story embeds, it becomes a headline, a law, or even a cultural memory. Balancing fear with humor. Tales like these are heavy, but drop a little humor, and you give your audience a breather, a chance to breathe before leaning back in. Think of it like a comedy club in a courthouse. The facts are heavy, but the laughs keep the audience alive. For example, Cane Corsos called XL bullies on steroids? Sounds like a Marvel audition. Up next, Cane Corso versus The Avengers, or maybe they should rebrand as oversized, occasionally misunderstood cuddle machine. PR is everything. By weaving in relief, you give your audience energy to keep going. And in storytelling, energy is everything. Humor isn't disrespectful when used wisely. It's relief. It's the audience's chance to breathe before you hit them with the next truth bomb. And often the laughter makes the lesson land even harder. Why the way we tell it matters. Every Cane Corso headline shaped public opinion, from banned breeds to licensing, from fear to reform. Media frames can spark fear or spur change. When the lens focuses only on horror, the public screams, "Ban them." When it highlights responsible ownership, the conversation shifts to reform. The same facts, different frames. Story shapes our laws, and maybe even the next neighborhood watch. This is why journalists, content creators, and even casual storytellers carry more influence than they realize. A phrase in a headline can change whether a breed is seen as a monster or a misunderstood guardian. In 2025, it wasn't just about what happened, it was about who got to tell it first. Your narrative doesn't just inform, it legislates. And if you think that's dramatic, ask any politician who's rushed a law through after a viral video. Bringing it all together. In 2025, Cane Corsos weren't just dogs. They were cultural icons, power breeds, policy symbols, storytelling case studies. The real arrest-worthy moment? Stories: Hugo's incident, Kaya's attack, the burglary thwarted by Titan, the legal saga of Elvis. Each is a story waiting for a hook, a heart, and a call to action. As a storyteller, your mission is simple. Grab the attention like a charging Corso, tap into the heart, and lead your audience toward reflection, or better yet, action. Because when stories are told well, they don't just describe, they define. Because stories, real, biting, and carefully told, have the strength to change beliefs, not just breed headlines. And if a Cane Corso can change a burglar's night, your words can change someone's world. Today we saw Cane Corsos in all their headline-making glory, from burglar-stopping guardians to courtroom centrals and everything in between. But it wasn't the dogs that drove the narrative, it was how we told their stories. Facts shock, but framing moves. So remember, a good hook grabs you, empathy draws you in, and a call to action sticks like a bite. Now it's your turn. What story will you tell, and how will it grip hearts? And that's the wild ride of Cane Corsos versus Intruders. Sometimes burglars, sometimes headlines, sometimes just plain chaos. If you had as much fun and a few chills as I did, go ahead and smash that like button, hit subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss another story that bites.